Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our heroic super guide for Shade of Aran from One Night in Karazhan, how to beat him in heroic mode with every single hero class and even a deck of basic and common cards only. Shade of Aran is on the easier side for a heroic boss. You know, he has a hero power that gives him the ability to kill you, but also helps give you the ability to kill him. The main way you want to play is just fill your deck with tons of spells that do burn to his face, a little bit of removal because he will play a few minions, but primarily spells that just do burn to his face. The cheaper the better because they all benefit from the +5 spell damage. Include a bunch of heal because he's going to be burning your face like hell. And strategy-wise, include a couple cards to steal his secrets, like Karazhan Mystic and Eater of Secrets. But strategy-wise, when he has a secret up, you never ever want to attack. The only exception potentially is as rogue with your weapon. You only ever want to attack as a hero. You never ever want to attack with a minion. And that is because he has a secret called Flame Wreath, which will do an extra 10 damage to you, which is just damage you cannot afford to take. So never ever attack. All you want to do is heal up when you can and burn him down to his face when you can. You can kind of ignore his small minions that do 1 or 2 damage with small pokes. They're not going to really matter. When he puts bigger things out like an Avian Watcher, yes, you should kill it if you have removal for that and are not wasting too much burn on his face. But you know, the good thing about this matchup is the games go super quick. All the decks I used here easily have enough damage to kill him. Like easily, like you are not going to run out of burst. It's just a matter of whether he kills you before you kill him. So it's a trade-off of surviving long enough to get to your burn that will definitely kill him off. Let's look at the specific decks. First up is Druid, which is kind of surprisingly very, very effective against him. That's because Druid actually punches quite a lot of heal. Between things like Feral Rages, Healing Touches, we obviously put in Heal Bots, Earthen Scales, and that's even before the latest expansion, the Kobolds and Catacombs, where there's even more, with like branching paths and stuff like that. So other than the ability to heal quite a lot, you have direct damage between your Moonfires, your Living Roots, your swipes. You can use your Feral Rages for damage if you need to, which is pretty nice. You have your removal with Wrath, and of course swipe. When you swipe him to his face, it'll usually clear his board as well, which is very nice. Starfires, and you have decent card draw between Nourishers and Wild Growths and whatnot. Karazhan Mystics and Eater of Secrets round out the deck. You just want to out-heal, and Druid has some quite good out-heal cards. Hunter is not the ideal deck for this matchup, but still certainly works. Even things like On the Hunt are good. Just don't attack with that Mastiff if he has a secret up. Wait to steal it with your Karazhan Mystics and your Eater of Secrets. You have Misdirection can be quite good because when he does have a minion out, you can make sure it'll hit him in the face instead of you, and sort of serve as extra damage. Explosive Trap does benefit from the spell damage, so it'll deal 7 to everything, including his face. Pretty good. Mad Scientist to cheat those things out. Arcane Shots are even good. Again, you have your secret stealing stuff. You have 1 Power Shot just as extra AoE removal if you really need it, as is Explosive Shot. Loatheb's kind of nice, gives you potentially an extra turn to close out the game. Reno is a bit of a long shot. There's quite a few pairs. It's pretty much a long shot that by the time you need Reno, you'll have drawn all your duplicates. But extra heal in there because Hunter's not that good at healing. You're pretty reliant on drawing your heal bots. If he does have a lot of cheap burn like Frostbolts, and you don't get your heal bot, you're probably going to die. But the game will be quick. Relaunch the game, and you can get luckier. Definitely beatable with this deck. Mage is the class I used at the time. I beat him on my first and second attempt with this deck. You'd probably put in like the secret stealing stuff nowadays, which I didn't have in at the time. like I said, the Reno actually probably not worth it. I think the Arcane Giants are not worth it because you seldom want to actually attack with minions anyway. But Mage, obviously, you know, if you can get your Frostbolt and 2 Ice Lancers going, that is just so much damage. Arcane Missiles, you know, Arcane Missiles on turn 1. That is 8 damage going straight to his face. That is absolutely what you want. You don't want to save it to, like, kill off little things or when his board's fuller. Lorewalker Cho is kind of a funny addition. You can, you know, you will play around the smarter than him and potentially get some decent burn from him. You can even get things like Flame Wreath, his special secret, which he will not play around well. Counterspell's obviously good for some of his crazier spells. Can save you a bunch of burst damage. Ice Block is amazing. Buying yourself extra turns in this matchup is the key to winning this. If you can buy yourself 2 more turns, that's 2 more turns of doing a ton of burst damage to his face because of his passive hero power that buffs all your spells. So this is the deck I used at the time. Definitely could improve it a bunch now. You know, you would put in the secret stealing stuff, take out Reno Jackson, and use things like explosive runes, which would benefit from spell damage. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do nowadays. I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking with Paladin. I actually created a quest deck. It runs the Lost Kaleidosaur, has some spells to buff minions, which you'll usually probably just do on a Silverhand Paladin, Silverhand Recruit that you summon. You do not want to attack with him if he has a secret up, as I keep saying. You have your secret stealing stuff. Corpse Taker can actually be pretty nice. If you can get in an attack, something with lifesteal can actually gain you a bunch of life. That's what the Wicker Flame Burn Bristle is in there, to give you an extra chance of getting lifesteal minions out through the Corpse Taker. If you can get that out and buff it and heal for a lot, it's actually pretty sweet. That said, you know, you're looking to just do a ton of damage. Uther of the Ebon Blade can be a ton of healing in the late game if you do get that far. If you, theoretically, you know, if you do get the quest off and get Galvadon out, you probably won't be able to kill it, and if you, you know, get a really nice set of Wind Fury buffs on it, you can potentially do quite a lot of damage to him, you know, if it's not going to kill you through his Flame Wreath secret. Paladin, again, not the best class to take him on with, but easily doable with Paladin, because you have good healing, and of course your absolute kingpin is Forbidden Healing. That can heal you for so much to get you out of range. That gives you a huge advantage. Priest has some pretty good healing tools, especially in the form of Spirit Lash. Man, when that's getting +5 spell damage, and he has a couple of minions out, you just like, oh, heal for so much. It's slightly greedy running things like Thought Steal to steal some of his cards, and Mind Vision. You can try get a Flame Wreath of your own, which he doesn't play around well. Things like Mind Blast are really good, even Holy Smites. Holy Fires are good because they deal damage and heal you. Obviously, if you can get anything happening with Velen, you're in extremely good shape. You know, Velen plus Mind Blast is 20 damage right there. So it makes sense to put that in. If you can get Justicar to stick early, you can potentially gain a bunch of extra life by healing each turn, which might be just enough to keep you out of range of him killing you to kill him yourself. The rogue deck I used works off of Razor Petals. The idea is between your Razor Petal Lashes and Razor Petal Volleys to create lots of these spells that deal 6 damage for 1 mana. You're comboing that with things like Jade Shurikeens, Eviscerates, of course, Sinister Strikes, a Shadow Step to be able to rebounce your heal bots for healing. Yeah, running heal between that. Valir the Hollow is pretty nice to buy you an extra turn, kind of acting as an ice block if you just need to draw, you know, 1 more spell. Your spells that do damage are quite cheap. You do have preps to combo with sprints or just get in more damage in a single turn. Another strong deck for taking him out. Even Blade Flurry, by the way, gets, you know, a Blade Flurry can be quite useful, as it will be doing 6 damage to all minions on board. Shaman, a few expansions back, was the burn class. You have so much burst between Lightning Bolts, Crackles, Lava Shocks, Lava Bursts, even Frost Shocks make it into the mix because, hey, that is 6 damage for 1 mana. Jade Lightnings, Doom Hammers give you a lot of damage over time, but Healing Waves are good. Nowadays you would put in Healing Rains as well, together with the Healing Bots. Once you have 6 of those, you will have tons of heal. You can draw into things with your Ancestral Knowledges. Very, very solid burn plan in the case of Shaman. Warlock, I think, is probably one of the weakest to take on Shade of Aran. You can definitely still win with it, as I did. You obviously have your secret stealing stuff still, Antique Heal Bots to heal you up. Blood Reaver Gul'dan, you know, can summon back some of your demons, but even your 3 life gain per turn that late in the game is probably not enough if you've taken a bunch of damage. Curse of Rathon, I think, was just an experiment. It does not benefit from the spell damage, so I'd probably take that out. So, you know, you do have some life gain in the form of Drained Souls. That's pretty helpful. You could put in the Spellstone nowadays. And Bane of Doom's nice. Fellfire Potion, gonna clean up everything if you have a life advantage on him. So, you know, looking to chain together your burst, but yeah, it is one of the weaker ones, but definitely doable. Warrior, I kind of find the most fun one to take him on with. As you will see in the screenshots, you can gain a lot of armor. You know, when I built this deck, my question was, is it possible to out-armor all his burst damage? It is hella possible to out-armor all his burst damage. This deck is centered not on burning him to the face. You're gonna just win on fatigue, but just armoring and armoring and armoring. You want to get out Justicar Trueheart as soon as you can so that your hero power is gaining you even more life every turn. You have some removal between Revengers and Blood to Ichors and Whirlwinds and Inner Rages, etc. You can remove the few minions he does play. You have some Cthulhu buffing cards like your Beckoners of Evil and Disciple of Cthulhu, just to be able to build Cthulhu up enough, who's not even in your deck, by the way, so that your Ancient Shield Bearers can gain you a huge amount of armor. You have Shield Maidens, Shield Blocks, and then the linchpin Bring It Ons, because he does not play a lot of minions that you're particularly scared of. And then the key is you want to kind of eventually get to a point where you have a lot of armor gain in hand, have gotten rid of removal on the minions you need to, and have both Dead Man's Hands, and you can just keep going infinite, gaining more and more and more armor. As you can see in the screenshot, you know, you can gain 160, 170 life in this matchup, despite all his burn with all the spell damage running through his entire deck. And if you could, you know, the problem is that you kill him too quickly. Honestly, you know, he could have way more cards and you would just get to an even higher life total. This is a fun way to really completely neutralize his game plan and punish him for having nothing but burn, and make it laughable when you still get to 170 life nonetheless. Lastly is a deck of basic and common cards only. I went with Mage with basically the same game plan I went with my first Mage deck, which is just you have tons of burn and you have card draw. Makes sense, right? You have card draw to get to the burn. You have the heal bots where you hope to survive. You don't have the ice blocks or much other heal, but you're looking to just beat him down before he beats you down. It is trickier than the other decks because you have less damage. You need to get a little bit lucky, but you know, you are fortunate in that Ice Lancers are common rarity. Again, if you can get something like Frostbolts plus Ice Lancers, you know, that is 6, 4, 10, 14 plus 20, 34 damage right there with those 4 cards. Even with him, you know, gaining a little bit more armor and starting with a bit more and whatnot, you know, that core means that beyond that you need very little more to be able to take him down. So if you are looking for a budget deck, this deck is definitely capable of it if you draw decently into those very cheap free spells. good luck out there. I think this is one of the more fun ones. It's a little too easy, but yeah, it's fun to either just burn him down with crazy power or out-armor him laughably when he's trying to burn you down. Have fun out there if you're trying it. See you next time.